Hey, hey, hello, alo, aloha. Hello to all our sister disruptors, all of our sister disruptors and friends. We are so excited. Thank you for joining us live. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to those of you who are joining us on the replay. I know some of you wait until after work to watch us. Thank you for coming. Gracias por venir. Obrigada, irmãs, por nos acompañar. We see you. We're excited that you're with us, and we thank you so much for joining us when you can. La sesión de hoy será en inglés, pero si tienes preguntas para Bea Dixon de Honey Pot Company, por favor, allá abajo en el chat, por favor, marque y nosotros podemos hacer que sus preguntas lleguen a Bea y que ella lo responde, okay? So today's session will be conducted in English. Don't forget to leave a question for our special guest, Bea Dixon, founder of Honey Pot, in the chat below. We'll get to your questions, we promise. At Black Women Disrupt, we're connecting with sister disruptors in a new way in 2020. We are still committed to inspire, challenge, co-create, and transform our societies by working with Black women, businesses, and social enterprises. So we're in the Americas and around the world. However, this year, we're also curating some more intimate conversations, bringing the voices of sister disruptors direct to you over the next couple of weeks. So please stay tuned for new opportunities to connect and grow together. We truly want to explore life after a pivot, to learn lessons from sisters living this moment, just like us, around the world. Women who can help us reconnect to ourselves, to our brilliance, and to our missions. Women who remind us that we still have a unique purpose in life, that this struggle isn't over, and that if we're in the midst of some of the most challenging times, we can still build, grow, and build again. There's so much that we can and will do for our families, to build our communities and transform the societies in which we live. We've been asked by friends and sister disruptors what they can do to support our work. And we want to know that we want to support you as well. So we posted below in the show notes the Black Women Disrupt survey in Portuguese, Spanish, and English so that we can learn more about your business projects and how we can better serve you and serve this growing multilingual community. Please find the notes below. And don't forget, as usual, buy from a Black woman-owned business, fund Black women-led organizations. Budgets do matter. And invest in our communities. We leave the link to all of our stuff down below, and you can discover other ways to support our efforts. All right, let's get to it. We've been waiting for all day, all week, all month. We have a very special guest, you all, and I'm going to bring her into the room. And while I do so, just let you know who we're actually speaking to. So when she was younger, Beatrice Dixon suffered with a bacterial vaginosis for 8 months. One night, an ancestor, and I'm going to let her tell this story because it sounds to me like it's a story she must tell us. But based on something that she was given from her ancestors, she created a formula. In 2014, Dixon launched the Honey Pot Company, a plant-based feminine hygiene line created with a goal to provide women with a healthy alternative to feminine care that's free of chemicals, parabens, carcinogens, and sulfates. All that stuff that we know we are trying to avoid every day of the month. The rest is history. With experience in pharmaceuticals, retail, and natural foods, Dixon has the insight and expertise to bring the innovative concept of a plant-based feminine care system to the marketplace. So we're excited. We want to hear about that. Unlike mass market and conventional feminine care brands, consumers will be able to get all of their feminine care needs, met under one brand, as the Honey Pot Company currently offers feminine washes, wipes, tampons, pads, mommy-to-be products, and a whole host of other offerings. Today, the Honey Pot Company products can be found online and in stores nationwide in the United States. Target, Walmart, Urban Outfitters, Walgreens, oh my goodness, Bed Bath & Beyond, If you can't find it, it's because you don't want to find it. An empowering African-American female entrepreneur, Dixon has been a recipient of the Sundial and Unilever multi-million-dollar New Voices Fund. She was one of the first 40 women of color to raise $1 million in venture capital. That's a huge accomplishment, and has been featured in T-Pain's School of Business, BuzzFeed's Ladylike series, and the Today Show, the New York Times, Entrepreneur, Elle, Essence, Forbes. I can keep going on and on. Most recently, she was named one of the Entrepreneur's top 100 groundbreaking women entrepreneurs of 2019. Her company won a 2020 Essence Best in Black Beauty Award, and she received a CEW Indy 65 Award in 2019, honoring beauty's independent companies. You guys, I could say 1,000 things, but I think we want to hear from the queen herself. Queen Bea Dixon is with us in the studio today, and she has decided to answer all of our crazy questions, the questions we've come up with.
There's no crazy questions.
Well, how are you doing, Bea? How are you?
I'm good. I'm grateful. I'm here. I'm
Likewise.
present. I'm conscious. I'm alive. So I'm good.
Thank you. I know there was so much that we were able to do to try to make sure that you came and got on the show with us. And we have a friend in common. And I just want to send a special shout and hug out to saludables. Saludables. Thank you.
I love you.
I know. She's amazing. And she said so many wonderful things about you. And I just couldn't not mention her name. So
thank you for mentioning it.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. We're just going to go through a series of questions, and it's kind of like a rapid fire.
Ball on the floor. Okay, yes, let's go.
Yes, there are no wrong answers. We just want to hear what your responses are to our questions. So let's see. Let's get to it. First of all, when did you know you were an entrepreneur, Bea?
In high school, I joined I was never into sports, but I was like a part of the speech club, and I was a part of the Future Business Leaders of America.
Okay.
I didn't even remember that until a few months ago when my mother reminded me, because she found like the books that like, you know, all the shit that you have to buy as a parent for your kids' clubs or whatever, and like they're completely never going to look at it again.
Yeah.
But she found some of those books, and she reminded me, and I, you know, so I think on a subconscious level, I must have known that I would be a future business leader of America.
All right, and you're doing it. You're absolutely doing it. And what has been your proudest achievement on this journey so far?
I'm just happy to be here. I think that that's the proudest achievement, and proud probably wouldn't be the best word. That's the achievement. I think the achievement behind it is that I'm actually here. I'm completely just like here right now.
Yeah.
I'm present. And even though that word is thrown around a lot, it's actually not the easiest thing to do, to just be able to be here right now. Right.
Yes.
And so I think that is an achievement that I practice every moment, every day of my life. And you know, I don't think that there's there's no perfect place in presence other than to just fucking be okay with being there, whatever the circumstances are, you know?
Yes, ma'am. No, absolutely. I think it's interesting that it is a journey for us. A lot of our sister disruptors are starting their businesses or becoming successful in their business, whether they're in Ghana or in Brazil. They're all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk a lot about some of the challenges that we're facing. And we can talk about the highs, but we also want some advice on the lows. So we want to know, from your point of view, what are some of the challenges that sister disruptors, and when we say sister disruptors, we mean Black social entrepreneurs and creatives, Black entrepreneurs. What are they facing in the U.S. at this time?
I think the biggest thing that we're facing in the U.S. right now, while it's remarkably beautiful that we're in this space where everything is all Black everything, I think that we have to be conscious and aware that everybody that's getting on that bandwagon doesn't necessarily have our best interests at hand. I think that we have to be careful buying into the fact that these things are extremely remarkable. What's happening right now is not remarkable. This is some normal shit. We shouldn't have even had to have been having these conversations. So I think one of the challenging things that we're facing right now is we have to get conscious within ourselves to know that what is happening right now is not some special shit. Venture capital money should have been put up for Blacks anyway, right?
Yeah.
Retailers should have been we shouldn't have to own a certain percentage of their shelf. They should have just been fucking with us anyway.
Right.
Right. So I think the challenge is being conscious and aware of that, and know that when you walk into that venture capital room, or when you go to sit down with that retailer, the fact that they're putting aside money for Black-owned businesses and Black people on their shelves, you have to go in there with the attitude of, yeah, that's cool, but you should have been doing that shit in the first place. This isn't special. And if we are not conscious and aware and responsible to ourselves, as human beings, because that's really what we are. Take our Black skin out of the fucking conversation. We're humans. That's all that we are, and that's all that we want. We just want to be treated like fucking human beings.
Right on.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't need a special part of their shelves. We don't need a special aisle in the store. We don't need special funds. We don't need that shit. Sure, the culture may not know as much as those cultures have, because those cultures have been conditioned to know that, and they have worked to condition us not to know that. Why we have to work so hard to know, right? Whatever that is, whatever failures that happen, whatever people you run into on some bullshit, whatever racist activity gets put in your face, you have to understand that none of that stuff is our stuff. We didn't create racism. This is their shit. This isn't our shit, right? And so I think we just have to be responsible and know that while all these things are great, I hope that they don't have an expiration date. Take full fucking advantage of it. Take everything they give you. Take all of it. Take every ounce of press. Bring in every ounce of money. Get your high valuations right now, because this is when Black people are going to get the best valuations of their lives right now.
Absolutely.
If you're raising money, right?
Absolutely.
Go for the gusto. Say your
and ass big.
Ass big. Think big right now, because you have to take advantage of it while it's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But understand that nobody is doing anything special for you. They should have been doing the shit in the first fucking place. Right. Yeah. So don't believe the hype. Take full advantage of the shit, but don't believe the hype though. Don't jump on the, don't think that anybody is doing. I can't repeat that enough. What they're doing is not special. I was on a panel with Lisa from Carol's daughter. Yeah. I had been thinking that, but she had such a way of putting that together, because we were on this call with I'm on a few of these different consortiums, so I don't even remember what it's called. It's done by Glossy. And everybody was talking about how they were creating all these diversity and inclusion and equity programs and this, that, and the third, and the Black people they were bringing in, and how their ads were all white before, but now everything's Black and all Black everything, blah, 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 blah.
They wearing a t-shirt.
Lisa came in like a fucking G and was like, look, y'all, this is cool.
But
Black people on here, let's not make them feel good about the fact that we're just now having this conversation. It's great that we're talking.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Right. But like y'all aren't doing no remarkable shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's the ceiling. It's not the floor. It's not the floor. Or it's the floor. It's not the ceiling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that you're going to capitalize it on it is to be grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
But be able to look them in their face and let them know, y'all just now started doing this. How long has your company been around? Right. So, you know, I mean, be gracious about it.
Yeah.
If somebody meets you with some bullshit, go on ahead and call the bullshit, because they won't expect you to do that.
Right.
They won't expect you to do that. They won't expect you to say that.
Yeah.
When you say that, they're going to look at you like, wow, that was some remarkable shit that she just said. And that isn't either, you know? So we have to be careful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have to be careful. And we have to be clever. Because I don't know how long this shit is going to last. I hope and pray that it's not a fad. For a lot of these companies, a lot of these ads, a lot of these marketing firms, this shit is marketing, y'all.
Yeah.
Do not believe the fucking hype. Take it, right? But understand that the revolution will not be televised.
Yeah.
You know?
That's very important advice, and it's advice that is applicable not just for the U.S. but for countries like Brazil, countries like Colombia, where there's been a trickle-down effect of this global awakening around social justice and the value of Black lives. However,
because at the start of all these civilizations, who were the people that they were bringing to build their fucking civilizations? Blacks, slaves, in all of those countries you just mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, you know, that is still too many ancestors died. Too much blood has been shed. Too much. I practice an Afro-Cuban religion, right? And in that religion, sacrifices happen. Energy exchange has to happen. Too much energy has gone into the poison within the construct of this made up thing called racism.
Called race.
Race. And the ism that is behind race. And we have to, you know, and so just because we're in a place where Black is in, you have to understand that when something has been built in so strongly, when so much blood and energy has been exchanged for a mechanism that was meant to keep Black people in fucking order, do not think that a fucking press run that may last a year or more, hopefully I'm wrong, don't think that shit can just be washed away because now everybody wants to give us money. And now you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, I'm just saying we have to be conscious and aware of that.
Yeah. And take it for what it is.
And take it for what it is. Take all the shit that you can, all of it.
Get everything you can. Get everything. Yes.
Get everything.
Well, that leads me to our next question, which is actually, it's a pivot, but it's related. What role does innovation play in your work? I know that you mentioned you had a background in pharmaceuticals. And I think before you tell us that part of it, I'd love for you to share with us how you got the idea for Honey Pot, and then what role innovation plays in that work.
So I had an almost year-long bacterial vaginosis infection. It was reoccurring. It wasn't constant, but it was like every month right after my cycle, here comes BV, right? I was like Googling everything. I was on all kinds of forums. I was shoving all kinds of things in my vagina. I was taking all kinds of baths. I was doing everything that you could imagine, like anything that I could Google, I was doing.
Yeah.
I was going to the doctor. I was taking the medicine. I was doing everything. And then one morning, I had a very vivid dream with my grandmother. And she came, and my grandmother is dead. All of my grandmothers are dead.
Wow.
So I'm sure that grandmother was just a consortium of all the grandmothers.
Wow.
But somebody asked me earlier what was my grandmother's name, and I gave them all my grandmother's names.
Right.
Just put them all together. Because they were all named Margaret or Mulaney. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
That's amazing.
On my dad's side, they were all either named Margaret or it's crazy. So she came to me in the dream and she handed me a piece of paper. And it was a white table. It was a white piece of paper with black writing and it just listed ingredients. And she told me that I needed to remember, like, don't look at me, bitch. Look at the paper. Don't look at me. Because look, I'm not gonna be here long. I gotta
go.
Like this is a special moment.
They made it plain.
Of it.
Yeah.
Read the paper. You have to remember. She just kept telling me that. You have to remember. And she told me to wake up. And I woke up. And when I woke up, I was like waking up saying the ingredients. And then I got a book by my bed and I wrote it down. And then my mommy was staying with me and I told her about it. And she was like, wow. And then she was like, I mean, all you can do is just make it, right? Like all that can happen is if the shit just doesn't work. And then you didn't really lose anything.
Right.
Completely right. So I just went to the store, bought the stuff. Within a few days, I made it. And then within a few days, like 4 to 5 days later, I noticed that everything that I was dealing with went away.
Are you kidding? You're not kidding. So from a dream from your ancestors, you were able to come up with the formula for your first product.
Yep.
Fantastic. So what role does innovation play? And we play often with these concepts. Often when people are thinking about innovation, they're like, well, what's the technological threshold? You know, how many devices are you using? Is it new digital technology? And I want to know what role innovation plays. And I also want to explore this connection with ancestors because I believe that innovation has been happening since the beginning of time, of course. Yeah. And this idea that somehow we're in this new moment where innovation happens online is a farce. So,
well, innovation is constant for me. I am constantly thinking up a new. I could make 100 different products for the vagina. Real shit.
Wow.
Next year, we're coming out with like 30 to 40 new items. And so innovation is huge for me because the only reason why if I had my choice, I would call Honey Pot the vagina company. But I can't call it the vagina company because people are weird.
People are scared.
We all come from vaginas.
Right.
Businesses, right?
Right.
So I called it the Honey Pot Company because that's a pet name for the vagina.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so by saying that, what I'm communicating is that Honey Pot should have practically, like if you can walk down an aisle in a store, Honey Pot needs to be represented in every little section of where a human with a vagina can buy her vagina products or his, depending on how they see themselves, right? And so innovation is huge. I'm not recreating wheels. I'm just making natural versions, you know?
Wonderful. Wonderful. So why is it important to think globally as you build and create? And when can people start getting your products outside of the US?
So that's a conundrum because at some point I'm going to exit this company.
Okay.
And when you are going after a strategic or a conglomerate to buy your business, You have to kind of leave something on the table for them, because that's really what they're good for. They've got endless money. They've got endless resources. Tampax may be called Tampax in America, but it may be called something else in Spain or Portugal right. And so, or Africa or wherever. So, I don't even know that Honeypot will, I don't know that Honeypot will go international while we are in complete ownership of it. But I do think that it is massively important, and I do, and that will be one of the strategies that we present to, as we start to talk. We haven't started having these conversations. We're probably few years away from having these conversations, right? But
you never know.
That will be the carrot that we dangle.
Absolutely.
Because you got to leave something on the table for them.
Yeah. We asked the question because a lot of our sister disruptors are from the Americas, from Peru, from Colombia, from Uruguay, from Brazil. And often there are products that are available here in the US that you can't get elsewhere. And we know that countries like Brazil have over, the population of Brazil is 54% people of African descent. It's 100 million plus Black women. And of course, half of the population is also women. So everyone can use that product. Right. I think it would be great for them to know how they might find it. And if they can't, at least be aware, because who knows, they might buy it here in the US. But
they can buy it from our website and we can ship it.
Cool. That's great. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
But I wanted to say that about the strategic.
Yeah.
That if there's anybody on this call that has a company that wants to exit their company one day, because that's how you guys make money, by the way. That's how you get rich.
Yeah.
That's how you make all the fucking work that you did worth it.
Worth it.
You didn't sell out. You just sold so that you could do some other shit, right?
Yeah.
Or so you can have social causes that you want to get behind. So that it takes money to give. It takes money to start business. And just because we have these businesses, you have to understand that these businesses are their commerce. They are not our friends. They are not our family. They are not our babies. Even though to us they are.
Right.
You have to understand business is fucking transactional. It's not emotional. Human part can make it emotional.
Yeah.
But business is transactional, and the way that we're going to create Black wealth is not going to be owning our businesses forever and ever and ever. Right? It's important. Now, if you want to do that, no diss. I try to be responsible with tools that have been given to me, whether it's from people like Richelieu or like Alexander Cummings or like my brother Simon or like whoever who have exited companies and who have been able to attain a remarkable amount of wealth. And then with that wealth, they've been able to,
leverage other opportunities.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really sound advice. It's going to be helpful for the women who are listening today, and friends who are listening today. And actually, that is an answer to the question that we had next, which was, what advice would you give to sister disruptors starting out in business? That was a perfect gem. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to that.
Well, starting out, that's a different thing. I mean, I think when you start out, you have to have your end in mind.
Yeah.
Especially if you think at some point you're going to raise money, you have to understand the type of money that you want to raise, right? Are you just going to work with angel investors? Do you want to go after venture capital? Because if you want to go after venture capital, then you have to have exit. That's what venture capitalists want. They want to see that dollar turn into $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, or $100, right? They are not interested in being with you for the long haul, right? They want to know what's the exit strategy. What are we doing? And when you pitch to those people, you have to pitch with that. That has to be a part of your investor deck. Normally that thing happens at the end.
Yes. Yes.
But
she's teaching classes up in here, y'all. You better pay attention because she's laying it out.
But the advice I would give is to be the entrepreneur of your life.
Yeah.
In the same way that you want to start business, that you want to create wealth, understand that financial wealth is just a tool that this society made up, right? Money is not an organic thing. Sure, gold and all those things are organic because those come from our planet. However, I don't think that when gold created itself within creation, that it was like, I'm gonna be a thing that people fucking kill people for. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it has its place.
Yeah.
And but real wealth is in your happiness. It is in your joy.
Yes.
It's in your responsibility on how you show up. It's how it's how you love yourself and give to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, like get solid with your fucking life. Because what's the point of attaining wealth, of growing businesses, if you haven't gotten to a place of happiness?
Tell it and say it again for the people in the back, because people believe that. They truly do.
Yeah, money is not freedom. Freedom is freedom, and money is a tool that helps, that partners well with freedom.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, it's like you're reading my mind. It segues into our next question, which is really about that balance. From your perspective, you have all of these different things that pull on you. You're part of a family. You're running your business, multiple opportunities happening, things that you're involved in. But what centers you? What gives you focus and allows you to plan, think, and rejuvenate yourself?
I don't know if there's a such thing as centered. In my mind.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to use that word, I think the thing that centers me is my responsibility to really wanting to be present and understanding that I'm going to die one day, and understanding that while I'm on this planet, I should use this time to be responsible with it, be kind to myself, be kind to humanity, put things out into the world, because I've been given these gifts to be able to put things out into the world that make them better. My love for myself, because that helps me in loving everything else. If I don't love myself, if I'm bad to myself, it's going to come out and vomit on everybody else. But if you're good to yourself, then you know how to be good to somebody, because you value your greatness to yourself, that devotion, and you value that shit.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we're facing some extremely challenging times, as you know. And it's not just here with us. It feels like it. Each of us are going through our own little private moment of difficulty, whatever those moments of difficulty are, some more public than others. But the COVID-19 challenge, this pandemic, has really created, for a lot of our sister disruptors, extreme challenges. So we want to know how you might have pivoted during this time. What did you have to adapt, move, shape, and grow in order to deal with the times that we're in? And what kind of advice would you give to sister disruptors who are facing major transitions right now?
So personally, I had to detach from I don't want to say I had to detach from society,
Hmm.
but I had to detach from the news.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
I don't enter into if I walk into a room and people are talking about COVID, I walk out.
Mm.
Um, um, Even though it's like shown up in my family, but we've got a good mental attitude on it, and we're working through it, and there's nothing we can do about it because it's either a disease, a bacteria, a virus. Either way, nobody can run away from that shit. If it's coming for you, it's coming, right? All you can do is take care of yourself. So personally, I've been taking care of myself. You should see what my supplement situation looks like. It's ridiculous. And it's been since the beginning of this.
Yes. Yes.
Um, uh, and I'm not, even though I'm having conversations about it all the time, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't let a lot of stuff get into my subconscious, which is why I won't turn on the news, which is why I don't subscribe to Apple News, which is, like it's a
Mm-hmm.
thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm careful to be conscious of what I let into my subconscious.
Yeah.
And then with business, we've just had to be like remarkably outspoken. We've had to be overly communicative to our retailers, to our customers, to everybody and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to be extremely honest and say, hey, like I can't like if I have a retailer that's ordering a ridiculous amount of wipes every week, right? For
Right.
a while, there was just no fucking way. Like there was no way we could produce what they were asking for. But the reason for that is because every manufacturer that makes a wipe, for the most part, is probably over indexing on sanitizing wipes. So their machinery has to go to the thing that is making them the most money, right?
Right.
So that's an example that we've had to deal with, and what we did with that is we just said to our retailers, look, we can allocate this number to you every week, and that number might be remarkably lower. It not
Than
might,
what you did
it
before.
is than what
Mm-hmm.
they could actually order. But it's like, look, I can't. Like, there's no way.
Right. We're all facing that same challenge.
And
So
everybody's facing it. And so
yeah.
if you're having these types of conversations, if you're in retail, if you feel pressure around not being able to deliver because of things that are outside of your control,
Mm-hmm.
what we've been doing is just saying, look, that shit's outside of my control. I can't make a fucking triangle go into a square. I just like, you know what I mean? Or
Yes.
something. It's impossible. So we've been saying that, and being
Yeah.
remarkably honest. And some, a couple times, some of the retailers were like, we're kind of tired of hearing that. But it's like, you can get tired of that shit if you want to, but it still doesn't change that this is what's happening, right?
Are you finding the same situation downstream in terms of your chain, supply chain?
Like,
And the
well, yeah, the supply chain has been what's been the most heavily hit.
mm-hmm.
Because we're in all of the businesses that PPE equipment is also in.
Right.
Pad
Right.
companies are making masks.
Right.
Wipe companies are making hand wipes. Wash companies and body care companies are making sanitizer, and hand wash. And you know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
you go to any retailer right now. I was just at Whole Foods. They have a sign up that says you can only buy 5 of these.
Ours says too.
Yeah. So, so
Yeah.
that tells you the state, everything. When you see that, that tells you what's happening in the supply chain of everybody.
Yeah.
Because those companies that are making those hand washes, their businesses are being affected because they're not able to take care of the little guy,
Mm-hmm.
because the big guy is just crushing everything. And they know that there's some, because little guy is relative. Little guy could be a company that's making 100 million a year.
Yeah.
Big guy could be a company that's doing $1 billion a year, right?
Right.
So
That's amazing.
yeah. So
But I can see. I mean, yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to pivot a little bit to ask a question about the African diaspora. And we really want to know, what might we be doing? What can we do to strengthen our relationship across borders? As I mentioned before, this is a multicultural, multilingual platform. And our sister disruptors are Black women from all over the world. And so from your perspective, are there things that we can learn from one another, do with one another, that might help us cross these barriers a little easier?
I think that we have to be conscious and aware that we are connected to everything on this planet. And while we want to, which is a reactive thing, and there's so much PTSD around being Black in the world, right? That and this is just my opinion. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Yeah.
That the reaction is, fuck that, let's just do our own thing. But in my opinion, that doesn't make things better. I think that makes things worse.
Okay.
Because I feel like we know that race is not real.
Right.
There's more things about humans that make us alike. Every woman has got 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth. She's got a vagina, right? She's got if everything's in order, she has a cervix, she has a uterus, she has, right? All the vaginas should have a pH of 3.5 to 4.5. All men have penises. They have testosterone. They should have that type, they should have a certain level of testosterone. All men have eyes, nose, ear. You understand what I'm saying? Unless there was some sort of a birth defect. There is so much. Humans have decided that a skin color, even though there is countless, when a doctor goes to school for medicine, he learns every bone, every organ, every fucking bacteria, everything in the human body. And you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're all closely linked. Yeah, there's
everything is closely linked. But we've decided that race, that color, even though in African societies, we were doing shit that they still don't fucking know how those pyramids were built, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They still don't understand why, even though they took some of the premises behind Orisha, they still don't understand why we worship the ocean and the river and the lightning and the sun and the moon, because that's all God. And the herbs and the fucking food, and the everything. They still don't understand why we did that. So other things were created, other religions were created to disenfranchise us from that. Right? When we actually celebrated everything. I have one of my best friends, his wife, Georgie, comes from Burkina Faso, right?
Yeah.
Comes here to fucking, she's a beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful, chocolatey, black, perfect skin, tall, just beautiful. Comes to America to do a job. She doesn't even see herself as Black. They say something to her about her Blackness, like they didn't need another Black model or something like that. And she was like, what do you mean I'm not Black, I'm African.
Right.
She wasn't even conditioned to know what that was even a thing. So I think we have to have a responsibility to ourselves to understand and get back to what we knew in ancient times, that every single thing is connected. Every plant, every tree, every blade of grass, the water, the fucking air, the energy that we can't see or feel, everything is connected. And when we try to divide it, we're going to fuck it up.
Okay.
So in my mind, I think what we can learn from one another is to bring ourselves together and start having that conversation so we can lift our vibration, so we can see through the bullshit and the conditioning, you know?
Thank you. Well, we're actually getting towards the end of our chat today. It seems like it went by quickly because you dropped 1,000 gems and then we talked about 1,000 vagina scenarios. But I want to ask you a more personal question.
Yes.
I promise it won't be too deep.
It's fun.
Cool. It really isn't. It's really what we know in terms of balance and being just a human and not just something that I'm not just an entrepreneur. I'm not just a mom. I also have and enjoy all sorts of things. And so my mentor always said to me, we might be activists, but we also watch the novella at 8. So
right. That's funny. I love that.
It's beautiful. Sister Sueli Carneiro from Brazil, and she believed that almost religiously. So we want to know what you're listening to, what you're reading, or what you're watching that's giving you life, taking your mind off of the crazy happening outside and allowing you to just feel like you.
Yeah. I listen to Pema a lot. It's a 34-minute talk that she did, and it's just like a book called Learning to Stay Present.
Okay.
And I listen to it all the time. I could probably say it. I can say it verbatim as she's talking.
Wow.
But I can't hear it enough because all the things that she's saying are so simple and they're so profound.
Spell Pema for me so I can make sure that our sister disruptors will enjoy it as well.
Pema.
Okay. Yeah.
Pema Children. I'm also re-listening to a 21-day meditation by Osho. And it's literally called like a 21 meditation. Osho is Osho. The song I've been listening to a lot lately is Heat Wave, Star of the Story, because I just think that it's such a sweet song. And Every Nigga is a Star. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yes.
And
we got somebody out here doing something. I hope you can't hear it for all who are here.
No, it's cool. We can hear it. It's all good.
Cool.
And watching, I don't know. I just started watching a show called Perry Mason. I just put on TV as another form of a meditation just to turn my brain off because I like to be mindless.
Perry Mason is what my grandmothers used to watch.
I love, but this is like a remake of Perry Mason.
Oh, okay.
I fucking love old school black and white Perry Mason. Like that is my shit.
It was the bomb. Every week we watched it. Or even every day because it was in replay by then. Okay. Well, that is beautiful. We're going to actually make sure that people have access to the links to the information that you shared with us in terms of how to reach your company, but also what you're listening to, what you like. No songs, Bea? Something we could
Yeah. I mean, I said Heat Wave.
Heat Wave, okay.
Okay. Tannerelle is like, her music is so good. She has this song. It's on one of our playlists that Mike Flo created. It's called A Trip Through Space to Clear. I think it's a trip through space to clear my mind. It's so good.
Okay.
But I love Coop. I love, Mike Flo has this song called Your Problem on his new Dogon album that he just put out.
Okay.
I've been listening to that. That's actually a conversation that Toni Morrison was having, talking about race and saying that it's a construct that was created, and it's actually the construct of racism is actually a sickness.
Yeah.
That's an illness. It's not a
it's not
like,
normal.
no, it's not normal. And you know, and I listen to it a lot because I'm having these conversations a lot.
Mm-hmm,
Um and I just appreciate the responsibility in her words to be able to just say that shit, you know. And I try to I have a lot of respect for Toni Morrison and James Baldwin and Lonnie Liston and, you know, and Pharoah Saunders and like, you know, because they knew that.
Now you're bringing all this stuff.
But they knew that humanity was the thing.
Yeah.
That was the stuff. It wasn't the race. The race wasn't the shit. Humanity is the shit. That's the stuff that we should be putting our energy into. Because the thing is, you guys, what you have to understand is whatever you're consuming, whatever you are thinking, whatever ideals that you believe in, that is energy. And a lot of people buy into what I think. Again, my opinion don't mean shit, but I'm entitled to my opinion.
We appreciate your opinion.
A lot of these ideals are literally conditionings that have just been served up to us on a fucking silver spoon, and we don't even realize that we just got fed the bullshit. You know, and so it's really important that we raise our vibration and understand what the real stuff is.
Yeah.
Because it'll get us out of the neurosis that happens, especially around race.
Yeah. On that note, Bea, I want to thank you. We want to thank you for joining us, for being with us. We have a few notes to wrap up our episode today, but we're so grateful. You don't understand. I have loved the concept of your products since I first heard about them. We went out to the stores to go run and buy them because it was telling us something new about ourselves and about what we could do and what was possible. And it's such an inspiration, what you've created. So yeah, man, I just want to thank you for joining us and for just supporting. We are Black Women Disrupt. We're not a huge media outlet, but you really took the time and you came and joined us and gave us everything. What else can I add? I can't ask no more. So
it doesn't matter if you're a big organization, sister. You asked me to be here, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm grateful that you asked me. You know, so
thank you so much. So I know Bea has to run to another meeting, and we just want to wrap up today. Thank you so much, Bea. All right, take care. So yeah, you guys heard it here. Bea Dixon from the Honey Pot Company, sharing with us all of her wisdom and knowledge in this journey that she's been taking in entrepreneurship and owning a major business. Did you like what you heard today? I hope you did. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was something that you needed to hear. I hope she left some words for each and every one of you. And if you liked what you heard, don't worry. We're extending the series. As you know, it's August. We'll be having these series until the end of August. Stay tuned because next week we will have a 2-for-1. We have a griot of the samba culture from Brazil, Doutora Helena Teodoro, and an actor-producer, Jana Guinond, both of them from Rio de Janeiro. You can't miss it. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our special guests and join us on Fridays for Black Women Disrupt Summer Live Series, Resistance, Resilience, and Innovation. Follow us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram at Black Women Disrupt, and on Twitter at Black W Disrupt. Or on our YouTube channel, you can enjoy the replay, and then the link is down in the notes. Also, we just really want to know more about our newest sister disruptors, about our friends who are out there starting their businesses, doing what they do. And in the links, you'll find a link to our surveys. The surveys are in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. And queremos saber más sobre ustedes, hermanas. We have just a need to want to connect in this community. So don't forget to send a shout out, to post a picture, to send some love to a sister disruptor you admire and respect. Tell your friends, and don't forget hashtag Black Women Disrupt so we can send her some love too. Stay safe, you guys. And if you can join us, do so next week at 4 p.m. on Friday. Take care. Ciao.